Okay, I want to give you my rant because it kind of follows this one. So, have you been following Bloomberg or the Bank of Canada in the last few days? All
No.
right. So, the Bank of Canada, I'm just going to read it because it's making me angry and I have a good rant to go with it. So, this will be Justin's rant segment. We need like a little segue. But anyway, the Bank of Canada is seeing worrying signs that some Canadians are taking on too much debt in the hot housing market. Okay. I'm going to pause right there. Hey, jerk faces, government, you have rules in place to stop that. Your stress test and all this crap. So shut it. In an interview with the Financial Post, Governor Tiff Macklem said there is evidence that loan levels relative to home values are growing. Yeah, house prices go up, therefore loan levels go up. Dummy. That's this bad math. They don't even know what math is. Canadians are stretching, and that is worrying, Macklem said. If Canadians are basing their decisions on the kinds of price increases that we've seen recently that are going to continue indefinitely, that would be a mistake. They're not sustainable. Yeah, I don't think anyone is telling clients, buy now and sell in 6 months and you're going to make $40,000. I don't think that's happening. So thank you, government. We don't need your opinion on this. And his comments come amid increasing urgent calls from economists for policymakers to cool the market. I told you this 3 weeks ago, didn't I? I said the government will do whatever they can to slow this down. Over the past week, the Bank of Montreal, someone from Royal Bank of Canada have issued reports warning officials they need to take steps to break the psychology of expecting continued gains in real estate. The ultimate concern is that the rapid appreciation could be destabilizing. Among policies being suggested are taxes targeting speculators, like the one implemented in New Zealand. I don't know that. Maybe we'll look into that for next week. Or an end to the long-standing and popular tax exemption for capital gains on primary residences. There you go. They don't care if you take on more debt. They just want you to pay them more at the end of the day. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau government plans to introduce a tax on foreign non-resident homeowners. Finance Minister Freeland said last week she is watching the market closely without detailing any specific intent to take additional action. Can they just get out of our lives? Like, is there anything government adds value to? You don't need to cool down the market. You don't need to stop telling people to invest in their futures. We don't need you to tell us how to invest. Like, what about vehicles? Or how come there's no regulation there? I can go out and buy a truck today and have $1,000 and they don't give a crap. They don't regulate that. Like, what other aspects of our lives do they have to beg for approval from the government first? Oh, please let us buy a house. Do they ever take into account that rent is expensive as well? Are they regulating that? Well, no, that would hurt landlords and owners of other properties. So it's okay if you spend $1,500 a month on rent, but don't you dare spend $1,500 a month on your mortgage. They're insane. So let us decide how to spend our money, government, and you just worry about yourselves. Like, I don't know why they think they're the overlords of how we are allowed to spend our money.
Though I agree with you on all fronts. Okay. However, there's always a however or a but, or an although.
Justin Trudeau is a but. Sorry.
I do think that they need to. I mean, in cities like Toronto, for instance, where this has been going on for a long time, of like day over day increased profits on housing because their market is increasing at such a rapid rate. That's not sustainable. And I think it's important that everybody understands that, because there's a lot of people that are going to be left holding the bag at the end of this if that bubble bursts in Toronto, Vancouver, and I mean, to a smaller extent, other cities across Canada. There has to be some sort of government intervention. It may not be government intervention, but there has to be some sort of intervention, or there's going to be a lot of people in getting very hurt by what could potentially happen.
If they can afford it, let's say you buy a house for $1 million and you put down, your 20% and your payments come out there and you can afford it and you sustain that for 5 years. What does it matter if that house is now dropped to 900,000 or 800,000? Mm-hmm. You can afford it. It's not the government's business on markets. If they're going to regulate stuff, how come lumber is so expensive right now? Well, there's a supply and demand issue, Justin. Okay, yes, I understand that. That's why it's higher. So
that's a good point.
300 houses in Lethbridge. So the prices will go up. Like, stop regulating things you can't get. This is the government to a T. They're trying to control the dumbest things they have no way of controlling. And that's where we're stuck with. It's like, oh, people are enjoying themselves. That's so stupid. Ugh.
That's a good point about lumber and supply and demand, because that would be
Yeah.
their rebuttal to that. It would be
Why
like,
can't,
well, what do you want us to do?
yeah, why don't they stop lumber pricing? Just like, oh, and gas, by the way, has gone up every day since we've been kids, and the government just kind of taxes a little bit more. And that's the whole thing. By the way, their only point was to push through that capital gains tax. This Bank of Canada, Bank of Montreal, RBC, they're all in bed together, obviously, because they all work together to get this stress test put together, and they can charge whatever they want. They have the Bank of Canada rates. Like, it's just very all tied together to go, okay, fine, you guys can enjoy your money, but we get 25% of that. It's always a tax. Anyway. Yeah. Ugh. That is my rant of the day. That's going to make it as its own Facebook post, by the way.
Though I do agree with increased taxes for international non-resident homeowners.
Sure. Okay. Tax money coming into the, yeah. But by the way, like, I wish I'm sure there's someone out there, like, show us the calculator of how much tax the government gets. It's pretty interesting. I just did it in my head. Let's do this. You have $100. You made $100, or you have $100 bill, but you earned 150. But we're going to pretend it starts at the 100. You get taxed on that $25, let's say. Okay. You spend all $75. You're a bad saver. You spend all $75. That goes to another business owner. He gets taxed his 25% on that $75. So the government's now taking $25, and then they've taken, another $20 from that 75. And then from the 55, that guy spends all his 50, and they take another 20. Isn't it just exactly like exponential that they get every dollar back to themselves in taxes? Like, for every dollar you make, up to 99.9999%, the government gets back. So they're really, really, I wish I was a government that I could tax every citizen all the time and then say, like, we're not getting enough taxes. It's an amazing thing. I wish I was smart enough to make algorithms.
The only way to really avoid that is to operate in cash and barter, but that's all. I mean, barter's gone for the most part, and cash is going to be non-existent.
Oh yeah, cash is going away quick. Well, and also barter. Listen to what the governments call barter now. They call it underground market or black market business. Like, they definitely don't want people to say, hey, Joel, you're good at fixing bikes and I'm good at framing. How about we trade? And they're like, well, that's underground marketing. And it's anyway, because
when that's how economies started.
Yeah, go figure. All right, rant over. Leave us alone, government, you jerks. How about a market update?